Hello guys, a bit later today, but a beautiful day outside, really very cold and really very beautiful. Right now is minus 21 and we are expecting even to become minus 37, what I heard during the night. But minus 21, we had the sun, a lot of snow, sparkling and beautiful. And now the day is almost gone, the daylight, and soon it will be dark. But what we are talking about today? Today we are talking about something more complicated even than the chakras and the auras, and we are talking about quantum nets. What are they? And how they affect our life in general. So, where we are starting from? We are starting first from the chakras, right? So, as you see here on the picture, we already have a picture of a person, and that has not balanced root chakra, this one here, the red one, a very small sacral chakra, kind of small root chakra, solar plexus chakra, a beautiful, beautiful big green throat chakra. Here is the heart chakra. Here is the throat chakra. This somewhere here she should have, because she's a person, but now she doesn't have her third eye. It's almost invisible, but is there. And a crown chakra, very nice and open. No soul chakra connection, no gateway chakra, galactic gateway chakra connection. And she has dark spots here on the left side, and here again on the left side on near her head. So what that means is that that person is, from our point of view, spirituality point of view, connected to the source, connected to everything. She is a beautiful person with an open heart, loving everybody and everything, right? But she has issues. She has issues in her life, like a physical life, and this is shown her on the first three chakras. There is no connection with the earth as well. So what we know is that she has specific fears of taking action, so she is not taking action. In her life, she is kind of staying stagnant because she is afraid of taking action. She wants everything to just kind of happen in a way, and it is not possible. After she has a problem with her wishes, she doesn't follow her wishes. She doesn't go out, she doesn't have fun, she doesn't do anything about it, right? And she has a problem with her stomach because she is under constant stress all the time, worrying about her kids because they have a bit of a problems, especially the one. And that's why all the dark spots are on the left side, because she's a daughter. She has a small daughter that is sick, and she is worried about that. All the time she is overthinking without knowing what to do. Of course they go to doctor and everything, right? But she is a mother, doesn't know what action to take, and she is afraid, right? And also some old issues with her life in the past, right? Again, showing on the left because she is a woman, right? And is connected with her what is it's not called womanhood, but like with her feminine side, right? And that's why her solar plexus is also shrinked, because she doesn't have enough self-esteem as a mother, as a wife, as a woman, and all of this is affecting her life. So she is working very hard, not seeing very much progress in anything, right? And having a problem only with her stomach. Now this is an old case, of course, and she's already a lot better after making everything but for her. But I am going to use her as example for how the nets are showing up exactly where we have our problems. So her main problem, is the fear, right? The self-esteem and overthinking and a small third eye, meaning she is not very clear of the situation, why the things are happening, how the things are happening in her life. She is more prone to blame even the destiny, right? Or other people or everything, but she is not capable to understand that sometimes the things are happening because they must happen for one or another reason, right? And the outcome, most of the cases, is better, right? But she is not capable to understand that, even having a good connection, right, with the divine, if you want. She is not capable of understanding that. She is not religious, so God is nothing that she is thinking about, but still kind of have the great understanding and accepting of other people, right? If not a really full connection with the divine, and fully understanding and trusting the process, right? So those are the main issues. What are the nets? Let's start from there. We have a couple of layers, 3 layers of quantum nets, as I call them, because I don't know what else to call them. And they're affecting everything. Our physical body, mainly, after it's affecting our psychology and mental health, and of course is affecting in a way the connection with our true self, with our soul. The first layer is outside of our body and is the general one, the main one. And when we have holes there, we are leaking energy and we are taking energy back from people around. So we are operating not on our own energy field, not our own emotions. We are taking everything from outside and adopting it in our life. So this is the main thing, but like we are leaking out energy, so we stay weak. The second layer is on our outer side of the body parts, as I call them. And when we have holes in our body parts, I will show you with her, for example, right? We have issues in those places, like legs or breast or arms. It can be anything, really. And the third layer is the every organ in our body has their own energy net, and when is broken that net, then we have a problem with those organs. They don't work properly. So this is a very basic explanation, right? So now we have we start with the outer, the very first net, and after I will show you some other pictures. So her issues, right, as we said, are here, and I don't know if you see, I hope you see, she has a very big hole here, a very big rip in her lower part of the net. For me, it makes a lot of sense. I hope till end of that stream it will make sense for you as well. So that hole, right, was created from this bad experience that she had. Something else that I'm doing when I'm working with the nets is to make a timeline And when I know the age of that person, I can go through the ages basically of her life and see when exactly what happened. So in her case, right, a very big rip in her energies was when she divorced. This was a couple of years ago. When she divorced and she became very insecure in her life, how she's going to look after two kids, how she will sustain her life, will she stay alone, and so on. And all of this affected her root chakra. So the root chakra is moved once because of that rip and that happened in that energy net, and second time because she is still keeping some grudge and bad emotions about that divorce and what happened with her ex-husband. And now she is married second time, very happy with a life full with love and everything, but this still stays with her because if you remember yesterday we were talking about the cords, right? The cords and how they are affecting our auras. It is the same. She is keeping open channel to that event in her past and is still allowing this to affect her life. To still feel insecure, to still not being able to say to herself, yes, I divorced and that's okay, I'm not the only one, right? Doesn't matter what happened, is not going to repeat in my life. Right now I'm happy with my husband and I don't need to be afraid that something like that will happen again. Right? So this is the one. After we have a bit smaller rib here around her solar plexus, and that is affecting her stomach, but it's from the way how she perceives the things, right? So she's overthinking, not eating properly, she's skipping meals because she's busy. So she doesn't have any breakfast at morning. The lunch is really very small. At evening, she is already home and even more affected by what is going on with her daughter, right? And all of this is becoming a very big issue. But the main thing of that rip, right, is again the divorce, because when whatever he did, right, in the past affected her self-esteem as a woman, as a person. And this is the main reason why we have that hole in her energy. Again, repeating, meaning she is leaking out energy and she is taking from outside energy that is not hers. So every time when she has a problem at work or something doesn't go properly, although she is doing her job really very well, she is taking it very personal. Not being able to divide her as a personality and the job, right? And not being able to see that actually she is a very good worker, very professional and doing everything correct. Now she is taking everything personal, and if something is going wrong on her work, she is blaming herself because of her self-esteem, instead of recognizing herself as that professional and a capable of working person, right? All of this is coming because of the event that happened, right? And this that she has a lower self-esteem for herself. Absolutely normal, because the energy is leaking out and everything coming from outside that is not hers shows only what she sees, right? And what she sees is because we have a rib here, it looks a bit more like that. It's more open on that side, right? Is making her third eye to not be fully open. It's not closed. She is aware of what is happening, right? She is aware of everything that is happening in her life. But the understanding, although having a very nice and open crown chakra, the understanding of the events is not there, because she is still in that moment of the divorce. She is still keeping that type of mind. I'm not worthy enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not decent, I'm not that. All of those negative talks that she doesn't need at all. And of course, here, for that dark spot and that ripped open, that's why it's bigger, is when her daughter started feeling bad 3 years ago. And she started getting more and more sick with more and more pain. And of course, she as a mother first blamed herself because of the divorce, right? The life of the kid changed. Maybe she's not providing enough, maybe this, maybe that. A lot of maybes in her thoughts, overthinking and overlooking and over blaming herself. And this dark spot is still present in her life at that moment. And the rip is still there, so she is still leaking, and also leaking energy from the third eye and from the head in general, creates a lot of issues with, as we spoke about the third eye, not sleeping well, feeling stress, overthinking, the train rush of the thoughts, not being able to calm herself, even more stress. All right, all of this is affecting as well her brain function. So she feels not concentrated enough, a bit foggy, some hormonal issues, though she is not in a hormonal change age, and the menopause still didn't start with her. But the hormones are not working properly because the brain is very tired and is very confused, because she overloads the brain. And again, the brain doesn't get enough energy and is leaking out more and more and more, and taking outside thoughts and outside ideas as herself, her own ideas. So it is a very complex thing, right? But leads from only one, and in her case two, for some people more events that happen, right? And ripping off the energy that is really very easy to rip off, especially with a very big emotional issues that are happening in our life, we start losing energy. And because we need energy, we start taking from outside energy, and that's not good. Because this is not our energy. As we spoke before, I was saying, our energy is all that we need. From outside, we don't take anything because it's not ours. It's not our path to walk. It's not our experience to have. It's not our understanding, knowledge, and so on. So we are losing connection and we are losing ourselves. So this is about the outer outer net, right, and how it is affecting the chakras first and after our health, and everything is absolutely clearly shown. So this is the front side. On the back side, the holes may look a bit different, but usually they match. It's just they have a bit of a different meanings. Some people have ribs only from in front, and some people have on the both sides. Some people have a lot more on the back than in the front. It's always different. But what I gathered as understanding till now, after so many years, is that in front, when the rib is made on the front side of the net, is something that the person was aware is going to happen, and they closed their eyes. Let's say, though this is not the case with that woman, but let's say that they split and divorced because he was cheating. She would know about it, and she will not want to accept it, and when it happens, it rips the net in front. So basically, that's it. Knowing and not wanting to accept it is the reason why something is happening. Why the front net is torn. On the back is the opposite, totally unexpected. Something that happened, a loss of a person, let's say a grandma passed away, or a parent, a betrayal from somebody, a friend usually, not a lover, not a partner, things like that, or a sudden accident where somebody broke a leg, for example, or a car accident or something that was absolutely not expected, rips off the backside of the nets. It's really very peculiar, it's really very interesting. But the energy, right, our own energy is extremely intelligent. So knowing that makes perfect sense, right? And we can understand how this actually affects afterwards the life of the person. Because let's say that she knew that he's cheating, but she was okay with that. She didn't expect he to take the next step, for example, and leave her. Just example. And that's why the both sides are penetrated. Right? Makes sense now. Okay, so this is about the outer side. So now I will try to show another picture of her. And now she doesn't have actually any parts. Okay, let me see if somebody else. Front, back, liver, stomach, belly. You have to find somebody from what I have already here. Yeah, okay. Very often. And this is what we can see on the outer part, because in the outer part I'm checking the legs, the arms, the lower back, the shoulders, ears, eyes, and so on. And very often we can see, especially after a certain age, people having ribs in their eyes. Yeah, the energy net around the eyes is ripped off, meaning only one thing: the person has some issues with the eyesight, nothing else. If it's on the ear, it means a issue with the hearing, right? One ear might be with a lower hearing than the other one, right? So it is just like that, shows a physical present issues with that part of the body. If it's the arm, for example, definitely means that that arm was broken before. And why this is happening like that? When, let's say, we broke our arm, first it comes the pain, that is a very strong emotion, not emotion but feeling, right? And the pain is for a long time. After it comes the emotional thing. First, the person may stop working, start worrying about their job, or losing their job in some cases. Yes. After is the treatments and going here and going there. If it's a woman, cannot cook, cannot wash, cannot clean. If it's a man, will be like, oh, I can't provide for my family, what is going now to happen? Or even if they are alone, they might start feeling fear about how to pay their bills, and somebody has to take care of them, and they may not be okay with that. So a lot of emotions can go even not being aware of them, negative emotions that create a rip in that specific body part energy. And some other things are just with the age. Eyes, for example, right? The energy just goes away because it is a worn off thing. So now, what I want to disclose here, to be very clear, when we are closing the energy nets around the body parts and the organs, we cannot really heal my friend's eyes. So the sight will stay the same, right? But it will be better. Let's say for her, in that specific case, she stopped having recurring migraines because the energy is enough for her head and for her eyes. So she realized that actually there is a problem with one of her eyes, so she went and changed her glasses because the other ones were not working anymore, and she didn't realize that. After closing the nets and the energy started working, she became more aware of herself and more looking for resolution. So what I want to say is that working on the energies, it doesn't necessarily mean that we are fixing everything. We cannot heal many things, but the person becomes more aware, becomes more a kind of insightful for themselves, and they start working on the problems that they have. New paths are opening in front of them because they are following their own path. That's very important to also understand. When we have rips in our energies, again, I don't know how many times I need to repeat that, but we are taking energy from outside of us that is not ours, that doesn't work for us, that is not aligned with our soul path for what we came here. And that's why we start having different type of issues. When we are closed with our own energy, first we start slowly healing, and all pains, all traumas are going away. Physical traumas, I mean, like that broken arm will not hurt every winter, for example, will heal faster as well, if it's still on a healing process. But also, if there was something wrong and the arm is not healing in a proper way, somehow they will find a way and they will understand that this is happening, and they are going to go to doctor, and the doctor will be like, oh yes, let's fix that, right? Before that, they may not pay attention to. They will stay like that. It is peculiar, it's strange. I can't fully explain it, but it's like deeper connection with your own self, and somehow your soul telling you things, saying in once, oh, maybe something is wrong, let's go and check it, and you go and check it. Before that, you are not even thinking, like more communication with your own self, with your guides, even if you want, and so on, because it's you, it's your own energy, and you start healing as well. So the diopter from that eye is not going to change, right? But at some point she said, oh, maybe I have to check my glasses. And she went and she was like, yeah, of course, because this one is more weaker, right? So she made the things better for her, and the migraine stopped even before that. When we are talking about let's say here, let's look at the liver, the gallbladder, and all of this. In that case, my friend has a problem with her liver, and with her stomach, and with her pancreas. So we have 3 ribs, if you can see them. Let me make them again, because this is the old before I created that system to can clear off everything. I was working with a GIMP before that. So here is one of the ribs on her liver, right? The meaning is that the liver is a bit fat and full with toxins, also not producing the proper enzymes. So she has a general problem with her stomach, and she is really very slim as well. So, and the issue is the liver itself. How it happened? Of course, it's just bad habits. You know, what we eat, do we drink, how much we drink, do we exercise, do we take out the toxins of our bodies? Because you know that the liver is the one that is clearing off the toxins from the body, right? But also the liver is collecting the toxins. And after, yeah, we are not going to talk about toxicology, if it's called like that, but you get the idea, right? So with the time, the liver become a bit more weak, right, and start having issues with its own energy net. When the net get a hole like that, right, starts discomfort, not proper digestion, collecting the toxins, changing our what is called hormonal state. So we become disbalanced, and with the time, right, the liver becomes sick. So all that we need to do is check that net, see where the problems are coming. In her case, is that she's not moving and that she's not taking care of her toxins. And the toxins in her case are coming from alcohol, smoking, and coffee, right? If she reduces this, starts doing something more, her liver will become absolutely proper, right? So after closing, actually, she really reduced all of this. She started feeling better, her stomach started feeling better. But she had another big part of the liver affected, right here, and the stomach as well. The stomach was affected because she is eating, right, and they have her breakfast and everything, but she's stressing a lot. She feels insecure all the time, and not having a really good self-esteem, and this affects her stomach, so she has gastritis. Nothing too much, just gastritis, and sometimes bloating, and sometimes heartburn and things like that. But it is because the liver doesn't work properly, and she is stressing herself as well. So all of this in combination makes the gastritis, right? After closing the net, well, she feels a lot better, of course, but she made the changes. And here we have a hole in her pancreas. No, she doesn't have pancreatitis or anything like that, but it's affected all of it. And by affected all of it, the only one thing that means is her sugar is not okay. It's a bit higher. Her insulin intolerance is there present, and she had to stop all the sweets that she loved so much, unfortunately. And time to time she is like eating chocolate, right? But all the cakes and the biscuits and all of this that she loved so much and that she was munching all the time, this had to stop because of the pancreas being damaged. from that. And with the age, of course, we have to become more aware of the sugar, especially, and the insulin, of course. So all of this, right, after closing and she making changes, right, to what is, first all the blood results became a lot better, right, on the first test. After, her digestive system changed, and from, I will show you another one. um, no, I don't have it actually, but let's see. No. Yeah, anyway. So her digestive system became better, so she felt a lot more energetic. A lot of other things changed. She changed her job with a lot of better job because she was totally balanced, and she was fully connected with who she is on a soul level, even though not being a spiritual person. Again, I'm saying this is not a necessary step to become healthy. It's just the awareness of yourself, knowing yourself, getting the right information from nowhere, trusting your gut, even if you want. The things started changing for her. And yes, she is very happy now. She feels a lot better, more healthy. And it's just a beautiful thing, right? Did we do too much for her? No, to be honest. It's just closing those energy nets and healing the chakras and healing the auras. But to be honest, in 90% of the cases, when we close the nets, especially the outside net that is so connected with the auras and the chakras, I don't need even to work on the chakras and the auras, because immediately they became balanced, because there is no leakage of energy. In some small cases, right, I still need to work on the dark energies that are collected on the stagnant energy, but that's all. Usually when I tell people what is the reasoning of that, and that they are keeping this, subconsciously in some way they're cutting those cords and they become free, because the energy is there, because the net is whole. So working on the nets sometimes doesn't even require work on chakras or auras. Of course, I'm still checking them before and after, and if there is something that stays behind, we clear it up, and to make sure that the person will be absolutely fine. But basically, the result always becomes this. Always becomes this. Proper, absolutely proper chakras, because this is how they should look like. A big earth star connected with the earth, having the stable roots. A normal root chakra without fears and without insecurities. Wishes, ideas, following them for our pleasure, even knowing who we are. A huge, huge heart, loving ourselves and others, properly speaking, without being afraid what we say, but without even screaming or something. A huge third eye with a full understanding, full acceptance. And even though for some people the soul star and the galactic gateway doesn't open, right, it is absolutely enough. Well, in her case, the soul is here, the full connection with the soul as well. Only the galactic one is missing, but that's not important. Maybe for her life, this is not what she needs, right? And after we closed all of those ribs, of course. But what I wanted to say is this is the normal state of a person. This is, and before her her hours were like that, and after they became normal, right? And and this is the no, this is before, and this is after. Yeah, and this is after. So it is beautiful when you see that, and the people start feeling really very good out of nowhere, very optimistic, feeling happy, feeling excited for the things that are going to happen. They are not they are not afraid, and they start taking action to change things that they don't want to have in their life. The new paths are opening in front of them, and they see them clearly. Oh yes, I can do that. Why I'm doing this job that I don't want, right? When I can have something a lot better, something that makes me feel happy, something that yes will bring me even more money, but by doing a job that I love to do, as it's with my friend, yes, or in that case with this specific woman, right? Yes, she still have a problem with her stomach, and gastritis was really very sharp and on a high level, almost becoming an ulcer. But she's getting better. She found a new doctor. She brought her daughter there. They started paying attention. She remade her connection with her daughter as well, not really worrying about her only, but taking care of her in a better way, even though she is exhausted, right? And not having time for herself. She is not losing herself. She is not blaming herself. That is the most important thing. So she can be more clear. And although she doesn't have time to sleep, when she sleeps better, because her brain is more calm, and everything is going well. And I know that her daughter will be fine and will be okay. This will be another case that we are going to speak about someday, because it's really very peculiar and really very interesting, but with a lot of explanations. So she became more stable in many ways, as understanding, as looking at the back. She doesn't keep that remorses anymore and blaming and all of this, because somehow she got the understanding that everything is just as it should be. Because I don't have what more to say about the nets, really. I believe this is a good time to speak about the soul purpose, because it's very connected with our energies and why we need to keep them to ourselves. We all are coming here in this life, right, or every life, every incarnation that we are getting, with certain tasks, certain things that we need to do. And here I'm not talking only about karma and repaying the debts that we created from the previous life, but it's something more that the soul, we want to experience, want to learn, want to see how it is to be like that, or what will be to be like that. And yeah, everybody was poor. Let's this time me to be poor, right? Because I didn't have that experience, for example, or let me get sick with that or with this, and let me see if I can overcome that and still trust in myself, still trust in the divine, still go up and evolve. All is about evolution. All is about going up. If you remember, I said that we are on the lowest possible level of existence. And there is nothing on the first D and 2D, right? And that is physical. So everything starts here on the 3D. And being the lowest possible level, our aim is to go up and up and up through all different dimensions, skipping the 4D, because the 4D is not physical existence, it's something else, it's just a layer of energy in between, and that help us here, being in 3D, to can evolve and jump to 5D. And that's all. In the 4D we have the whole of Amenti, and that is the knowledge about everything that is there, right? All the aliens, all the systems, all the dimensions and so on. And the Akashic records. Akashic records being a record of every single soul past. All our past lives are there, written down, so you can access them, you can see. So when you are going on a regression, for a past life regression, right, this is what is happening. You are accessing your own Akashic records, and you can see everything as a movie, and relive it again depending of how deep you're going in hypnosis. But you can basically have that life again, skipping some parts that are not important. So all of this is there. Also the connection between people. So in Reiki, for example, and in my quantum healing, we are using 4D as a portal to reach the other person, energy, to see, to work with it, to send energy. Some people do directly as me, opening just a portal and going through the 4D to see the other person on the other side, and even working inside of the 4D energy field. Some just know that they're sending, and there are symbols for that, to open that space so you can send the energy to other people. And it's working, yes, as is working for the Reiki, in the same way it's working for the quantum energy healing. Mine or another modality, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that this layer of energy is there to help us overcome the physicality and become who we are. And don't make a mistake to think that after 3D there is no physical body. Everybody has a physical body. Nobody is just like beam of light. No, you may see a beam of light being an alien or a spirit guide or whatever, or angel, right? But you see it because you can't perceive their bodies. In their realms where they are living, in their dimensions where they are living, they have physical bodies. They have emotions, they have families, they have bigger understanding, better understanding from us what is what, right? And the duality stops here. On 3D we have the duality. After 3D there is no duality. On a 5D there is no duality. Duality doesn't really exist as we understand it here. And all the division that we are making, something is bad, something is good, something is dark, something is light. Now after third dimension everything is just normal, neutral, right? We don't pick a side. And everything is absolutely as it should be, and the full acceptance is there, and the full love is there, and everything is there. Here we are still very affected from our own minds and teachings, what is good and what is bad, what is okay to do and what is not okay to do. And that's normal. Of course it's normal. There are things that we shouldn't do ever, right? And there is a punishment for people that are doing those extremely bad things, like killing somebody, raping, molesting uh, kids, and so on, right? So that's okay, that must be. But why here is okay and there is not? Why here this is something that we have to divide and there is nothing like that? Well, because there this doesn't exist there, right? So there is no pedophilia there and people that are molesting and hurting kids. No, it doesn't exist. There might be wars and kill each other, but they don't die. If this is something that you can understand, probably not. But the soul doesn't die. It's we here being afraid from the dead because we believe that we are dying when that physical body dies. On a 50, 6, 7, and so on, such a concept doesn't exist. A concept of a hatred doesn't exist, of a bullying doesn't exist, of domination doesn't exist. You know? So that's why the division and the duality there is something totally different. For us here, everything is very strong. Again, connected with a certain fears and certain wishes that might be stronger than us. Someday we are going to talk about that when we are talking about the issues with the teen bodies and obsession, and the dark entities. We are going to talk about that, and maybe then you will understand why all the entities that are talking through the channelers are like, no, everything is good and everything is nice and everything is peace and love and light. Yes, it is, but not in the way how we can understand that, and we are getting a very wrong message with that. We have to be a love and light. No, we can't be here on 3D. We are everything. We are fully embracing the duality because it's the very first stage of that understanding your love and light, where you are coming from. But it will take, I don't know even the word of that number of years, though they don't have that perception of time as well, to change and to become really only love and light, and the darkness to not be even present, and when it's present to be your good friend, because the darkness and the light are working for the balance in everything that is there. You cannot dismiss the dark. It's just here we accept it in a different way, as a polarity, as the dark being something extremely bad and not helpful at all, or the light being only the good and this is what we need. No, we need both to be in balance, to be what we must be, because we are human beings. We have these physical bodies and our emotions, and everything is messed up, and all the evolution and ascension is about that understanding that you have to accept yourself on all levels. You have to love yourself on all levels, and you have to understand that the dark is there to show you how light you can be. That's all. And at some point the darkness go away. This is the shadow work, I believe. The darkness from you goes away, you become clean, and then you are love and light, want or not. And you still can get angry, and you still can feel like, oh, I hate you, but it's not true, and you know that is not true. It's just words, it's just expression of a strong emotion that doesn't do anything, because you don't put any intention of those words, you don't put any intention of your acts, and you don't act ill. And people that cannot be love and light, right, but they are still keeping on the dark side, It's just people that are paying attention and indulge, sorry, their dark emotions, a, a wish for power, a wish for dominance, a wish for to be somebody that they are not, a wish of being very rich for whatever that will do to them, and so on and so on, and being bad and hurting other people and doing all of those things. It's not the dark side that makes them do that. It's not the existing evil side, a demon that is coming per se. It is that person cannot see the light because they like what they do, unfortunately, and they are dark in that way. It's not to blame the dark side of the energy because they don't want to see the light and they don't want to change, right? It's just that. But yeah, maybe we are going to talk about this a bit later. The main point here was this. Yes, we are keeping our energy for ourselves because we need to follow our path. And even if our path is to be really very bad and dark, well, our soul chose this, and there is no blame for it. At some point, everybody was a bad person, not in that life, maybe in a past life, but every single soul went through this in one or another way. So we all went through the dark side of the things to come to that moment when we want to be only love and light, and we can, right? Still saying, being in balance, recognizing the dark as equal. Yeah, it is hard, and I know that a lot of people will say that, hey, that's a BS, what the fuck, and so on and so on. No, I'm not talking about killers and murders and things like that. No, that's a totally different thing. And again, the dark side, most of the time, has nothing to do with it, because they are coming, the dark side is coming to make us see and make a choice. The choice is very important. What you are choosing, to be a dark one or to be a light one, that you are coming from. Anyway, this is all that I'm going to talk about today. And now I'm finishing. And thank you for being with me, thank you for watching, and thank you for listening to that rambling. Tomorrow is a day off for me. After tomorrow, we are talking about energy chakras of the animals, cats, dogs, and horses, how they present themselves, how many chakras they have, what issues they may have. And it will be interesting, or at least for me it's interesting. I hope this is interesting for you as well. Okay, so stay healthy and happy, and all will be good till after tomorrow.